Hi everyone. Say something. That might help.
You don't want to talk in case you are alive.
Okay, hi everyone. We're live. It's taken about an hour and 45 minutes to get live, but we are live, so welcome everyone.
When I'm sitting here, that's when you know
Welcome everyone.
there's a technical issue.
Yeah, sorry, we said it was going to be on about 2 hours ago. We some technical issues. We're trying to get connected on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok and YouTube at the same time. So using the streaming service. Oh, just going live on TikTok now. I forgot. The internet is not the best. Oof, yeah, the internet is not the best in the hotel where I am. So if the connection is not great, then I apologize. If you can't see me in full HD, I would say as handsome as I am, the words I'm saying is more important. So don't let that put you off. Today we've got a interesting topic. We're going to be talking. Oh, I'm very blurry, aren't I? Let me see if I can
I don't know if
change
that's
it.
for me or for.
If I'm really blurry, let me know. TikTok should be fine, but on Instagram or YouTube, yeah, if I'm really blurry, let me know and I'll see if there's any settings I can
I
change.
don't know the best on TikTok either.
Trying to figure it out. Says, yeah. We'll see. Okay, cool. Um, okay, so is that Instagram?
Yeah, so it's fine.
All right, let's get into it. So today we're going to be talking about the Q and A's, not Q and A's, but we've received a lot of questions because we've launched so many new healing kits for so many different issues: bloating kit, thyroid kit, liver cleanse kit, anti-herpes kit, heavy metals kit, blood builder kit. So, my fault, I suppose, but we haven't really had the time or opportunity to explain exactly how all of these kits should be used and what exactly they're for and what to expect. So, I'm going to try and go through, each of those kits because I'm sure one of them will be relevant to anyone listening on the live today or everyone listening on the live today. And yeah, going to talk through who they're for, how they should be used, what to expect, because a lot of that is kind of um, I won't say unclear, but a lot of people don't necessarily know that when you are, hearing about these herbs for the first time or it's your first interaction. So, yeah, that's the topic for today. So, yeah, obviously we'll do the Q and A as normal once we've gotten through all the content. Jade is here to help out. H, glad to hear you got your lines in yesterday. Yeah, Jade will be there answering all your questions. There is 4 different platforms that she'll be going across, so I'm not sure that she'll be able to answer everyone everywhere. But yes, and then we'll also be giving out a discount code during the live as well. So yeah, Jade, let me know what that's going to be. It can still be the same as the last one if you're busy getting the bundles uploaded and stuff. Um, any other housekeeping points?
Yeah, it can be the same as the last one.
All right, cool. So it's going to drop early. Well done, guys. Well done for joining. You're going to get the early discount code. It is May 20, so MAI 20. And you can use that to be simple, I'll say on the website, and that's magictreesuperfoods.co.uk. And that will give you 20% off everything consultations, diet reviews, the herbs I'm going to be talking about, and most importantly, the kits I'm going to be talking about as well. In terms of yeah, we've spoken about the Q and A. We're back in stock finally. The issues that we've had with weather, with customs, hopefully are a thing of the past. I don't want to speak too soon with Black Friday around the corner. But yeah,
Green Friday.
sorry,
Green
Green
Friday.
Friday around the corner. But yeah, we're stocked up now, so hopefully there shouldn't be any inventory issues. So if you have got any inventory issues, then yeah, please do let me know, and yeah, we can get those sorted out. But yeah, just a massive welcome to everyone on Facebook, everyone on YouTube joining. We do these lives every when do we do them? Every Sunday and Wednesday
Wednesdays.
now. And they're really just to, in a 60-second video, you can't really talk about the kind of health issues we talk about and cover it fully in a way that people can really use that information and go away and feel empowered. So these lives are really to allow people to fully digest what we're talking about, fully digest the issues, fully digest the cause and effect, and not just the sound bites, and actually start to get a deeper understanding of a lot of these issues and why things are happening. Because nothing I say is overly complex. Nothing I say is difficult to understand once I explain it. It's the body is a marvelous and miraculous system, but it's also quite a simple one. So yeah, we'll try and break that down, and we'll get into that all of that good stuff. So if anyone has any questions, then yeah, please do let me know. Trying to look across all the different platforms to see them. I can see the TikTok one quite easily, Instagram and Facebook. Instagram I can see as well, so that's good. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's get into it. So I want to what kit should we start with? I'll probably start with, we probably won't have time to go through all of these kits in this session. So what I'll probably do is just start with the most popular kits, explain those, what you can expect, and then we can yeah, work through, answer the Q&As as they come in as well. And we'll probably run it like that. So yeah, in terms of the most popular kit, that would be the fibroids kit. Now, this actually surprised me when we launched the fibroids kit. We'd receive DMs and people would ask about fibroids, well, all the time really, but it wasn't an issue that I was actually aware was so prevalent. Even my mum, when I've talked quite openly about helping my mum with her health, and it's an ongoing journey, but I didn't even realize she had a hysterectomy. I didn't know she had a womb out because of fibroids. Fortunately, it was when she was older, so it didn't impact, fertility or anything like that. But yeah, it's an issue that there isn't a day that goes by where we don't have at least 10 DMs of people asking about fibroids. And a lot of fibroids go undiagnosed. They can be asymptomatic, but for a lot of people, it is also causing fertility issues. It's causing heavy bleeding. A lot of women that just say, I'm a heavy bleeder. A lot of women that just say, I have painful PMS symptoms. A lot of women that, struggle. It's not just because you're a heavy bleeder. It's because you actually have something there physically causing the issues. And that is the case with, pretty much every single health condition. It's not in your head. It's not you're unlucky. Well, you may be unlucky, but it's not you're destined. You're not a hypochondriac. There is a physical happening in your body which is causing you to feel the way you feel. It might be heavy metals oxidizing, and we'll talk about the heavy metals kit. It might be a physical obstruction like fibroids. It might be an underlying viral issue, which fibroids is as well. And for the new people joining, you'll see we talk about viruses a lot as the root cause of a lot of these issues. And having spent the last year and a half doing consultations, working directly one-on-one with people, you really see it to be true. So yeah, all right, let's get into it. So the fibroids. Now, this kit is, I should probably have a list of them all in front of me. But yeah, this kit is the Donquay, the raspberry leaf, and Jade, if you could, actually I'll pin it. Do you mind pinning it to TikTok, Jade? Thanks. Yeah, this kit is the raspberry leaf, the Donquay, the black seed oil, and the ashwagandha root. And the reason we put the kit together in this way was very structured. It's very purposeful. It's not just the best herbs for fibroids. They're actually targeting a specific part of the underlying symptom, and hopefully that gives. When I explain that, hopefully that will explain kind of how we expect the herbs to work and how we've seen it work. I'll caveat and say that, the kit only launched last month, so it's not like we have, thousands of testimonials saying how it shrunk people's fibroids already because it's only been a month. But yeah, what the herbs do, and I'll run through them one by one. So we've got the raspberry leaf. Now, this is really important because it helps to cleanse exogenous hormones. The thing that grows fibroids isn't your hormones. It's not your own estrogen. It is exogenous hormones. There's a reason why fibroids go absolutely crazy when women are on IVF medication or hormones in preparation for IVF. That synthetic estrogen is like fuel to the fire for fibroids. When people eat a lot of animal protein, particularly chicken, eggs, red meat, the way they are farmed is a high estrogen environment, high antibiotic environment, and these all significantly disrupt your endocrine system and can perpetuate the fibroids. I'm not going to say cause because the cause would be an Epstein-Barr virus or streptococcus infection in the liver that then moves to the uterus. The liver is too burdened and cannot protect the uterus, and then you end up with a fibroid growth trying to encase that virus because the liver can't step in. And then you've got heavy metals, which the virus is feeding on. And then you've got the hormonal growth that will fuel the growth of the fibroid itself. Now, that's why the raspberry leaf is really important. It's those exogenous hormones that the raspberry leaf is cleansing. So that could be the estrogen from the milk you've been drinking. That could be the antibiotics from the chicken that you've eaten. That could be the estrogen in the pharmaceuticals that you've been taking. It could be the estrogen in, the birth control medication. It could be the estrogen that women have had in their bodies for decades. It could be the IVF treatment, which is a short burst of intense estrogen. All of those things, the raspberry leaf is highly proficient in going in and cleansing and also tones the uterus as well. It's also rich in iron to help rebuild the blood if you are a heavy bleeder. Then just seen the question from Nota Viraj. Am I saying no meat? I'm not saying no meat. I'm not saying you can never eat meat again if you're suffering with fibroids.
Average.
Nobody that says average. Oh, not. Oh wow,
Not
it must be the. Do
average.
you know what? It's because my shirt is the same color as the text. Not average. That's crazy. Not average.
You should have
uh, um,
making it sound jazzy.
yeah, I'm not saying. Let's assume they're French. So I'm not saying you can never eat meat again. What I am saying is that cut down the meat, and if you are going to eat meat, reduce it to farm grown, where you know the local farmer, not just battery farm chicken, not just battery farm eggs. And the jargon can be very dangerous in terms of free range. Does not mean a big beautiful chicken running around in the grass enjoying the fresh air. That's not what it means. It just means a caged chicken that has 1 square foot, I think, of they say grass. It can be fake grass as well, that the chicken can run in. So yeah, that's why it's a very sketchy game. And I say the best thing is to just cut down your meat to a few times a week. But it's about what's realistic as well. So if you're eating meat 3 times a day, 7 days a week, then if you can cut that down to 1 time a day, then that's still going to make a massive improvement. So it's just moving from where you are as opposed to trying to have these extreme, isms. I don't believe in isms. I believe in being 1% better each day. But yeah, so that's what the raspberry leaf does. Now, the dong quai is kind of the equal. I don't want to say opposite, but the equal match to it. So it regulates your own hormones. So it regulates your estrogen levels. It regulates your progesterone. It regulates your testosterone in men and women. So in the context of women and fibroids, what it does is essentially protect your own hormones from those exogenous hormones. Your hormones will fluctuate throughout the month, and that's perfectly normal, and that's not the reason the fibroids are growing. It's endocrine disruptors that are causing the problem. So the Dongquai is a protector of your own hormone or your own hormonal system, whilst the raspberry leaf can get to work in knocking down the invaders, essentially. And then we talk about an Empress Gold. I've seen your question about black seed oil. Yeah, that brings us on to the black seed oil. So in level 2 of the kit is black seed oil. And so level 1 is more for, unexplained heavy bleeding or, menstrual pain, cramping, but nothing overly specific or diagnosed. But what the level, sorry, 447219. But what the level 2 is more for diagnosed fibroids. Now we're getting into, we know there's an actual issue, we know there's something there, and we can start to be more specific. That's why the black seed oil is really effective. So the black seed, and I will answer the question about the PCOS as well, but the black seed oil is effective because it's highly effective against EBV and streptococcus. Now, EBV and streptococcus, as I mentioned, are the root viral pathogenic cause or bacterial cause behind the fibroids, behind the endometriosis, behind the adenomyosis. It's all the same thing. It's tissue growth trying to encase the pathogen. Now, the black seed oil is effective at going after that underlying pathogen, and that's why it's in the protocol. Now, when we talk about the fourth herb in level 3, and this is, multiple fibroids, extreme endometriosis, because all these things kind of exist on a spectrum. And that's where the ashwagandha is important because it starts to deal with more hormonal sensitive issues, which is what I would describe PCOS as. yes, the endometriosis and the fibroids is a hormonal issue, but the root cause is more viral. With PCOS, your root cause can be hormonal, which is why the ashwagandha is in that kit. Oftentimes, Epstein-Barr virus does play a role. Exogenous hormones do play a role because that's what messes up your insulin. But that's more of an insulin issue. When you've got elevated levels of insulin, you have elevated levels of androgens, and those elevated androgens is what causes the PCOS, or is the result of the PCOS, I should say. So what the ashwagandha does, it helps to bring your insulin sensitivity, increase your insulin sensitivity to bring your insulin levels down. It reduces your cortisol levels, and you can start to regulate your androgens. And that's the real benefit of the ashwagandha, and that's why it's in level three, and that's what makes the kit, in my opinion, the best option for all reproductive issues, and really for men and women, because none of the herbs in there are for men or women. You know, if you're someone dealing with erectile dysfunction, it's a great package for you because the Dongquai is a fantastic blood builder. The ashwagandha is going to open up your blood vessels. It's going to take the stress away. It's going to increase the blood flow. The raspberry leaf is great for the prostate, so it improves your semen as well. So that's the best thing about these herbs. We can market it as for women or for men, but in actuality, they're great for both. I could have also called this the fertility kit, as I've just mentioned. It's great for toning the uterus. It's great for regulating the cycle. It's great for reducing inflammation. It's great for improving sperm mobility, motility, and count. It's great for the prostate as well, as I said. So that's my favorite thing about these healing kits. You know, people like to put them in boxes and say, oh, well, is it good for this? Is it good for that? What should I use for this? But the reality is, you can use most of these kits. You know, it should be the reproductive kit, really. That's what I could call it. And sure, there might be some tweaks. If you say your focus was on enhancing testosterone for a man, then sure, Shilajit would go in there. Or if your focus was specifically on PCOS, and maybe CMOS might go in there. But generally, you're covering your bases, and that's what these herbs are about. Um, okay, so in
Someone's asked a question.
okay.
Lymphatic problems. Does the package work for me?
So there's another package I'd recommend for lymphatic problems. So I will park that to the side, and well, actually, no, I'll just tell you, it's the immunity boost bundle is what I'd recommend most for lymphatic. That's what really stimulates your lymphatic system. It's got moringa, it's got black seed oil, it's got sea moss. They stimulate lymph flow. They help the liver as well to stimulate the liver is kind of your macro lymphatic system, and then you've also got your obviously your lymphatic system, and then you've got your glymphatic system. So imagine micro, micro, nano. Now, the macro is the liver, the micro is the lymphatic system, and the nano is the glymphatic system. Now, all of these herbs help all three of these systems, thankfully. You can also do things like rebounding is fantastic, deep breathing is fantastic, lymph massaging is fantastic. Skipping is fantastic. Going for a brisk walk for 20 minutes is fantastic. Earthing is fantastic. So lots of things you can do beyond the herbs to help your lymph flow. But yeah, as it pertains to the herbs, I would most recommend the Immunity Boost bundle, which is available on the website, and you can use the code MAI20 to get that one. But yeah, just jumping back to the fibroids kit I was talking about. So the next question we usually get is, well, what can I expect? Which is a fantastic question and one you should definitely be asking. It's also a difficult one to answer because it does heavily depend on what you are doing. You know, are you still eating all of the red meat, the pork, the dairy? I didn't mention the dairy before, but dairy is something definitely to avoid. So are you still eating all of those things? Are you eating enough fruit? Are you eating green leafy vegetables? Are you still on a load of medications or pharmaceuticals? Are you, how many fibroids do you have? Do you have 20 plus? You know, all of these things are going to impact the time you will experience symptoms. But what I do say and what we've seen is within the first 6 weeks, so within 2 cycles, you could call it, we do tend to see an improvement in symptoms. So that might be more energy, that could be, you know, less of those anemic feelings, that could be less painful cramping, that could be a slower blood flow or a lighter flow. Could be lots of different things that you see. Did I say more energy? But we usually expect to see something within the first 6 weeks, and it might get a little bit worse before it gets better. We have had some people using the herbs during their cycle, and it can kind of make it a little bit worse before it gets better. So I'd persist through that. You know, if it's continuously happening, then I would say stop and use it when you're not, not during the bleeding phase of your cycle. But generally within the first 6 to 8 weeks we will see some symptoms, sorry, some symptoms improve. Then within kind of 2 to 3 months, depending how frequently you're getting your fibroids checked, depending how much of an issue they are, a lot of people are saying, I want to get pregnant tomorrow, so that's why I want to get rid of the fibroids, and obviously that's more urgent. In those situations, I would recommend surgical removal of the fibroids, not a full hysterectomy, but surgical removal of the fibroids, and then you can use the fibroids kit to prevent them coming back, because that's a lot of the time we see that as well. A lot of women will go through, get the surgery, and then 2 years later it's grown back, and you're like, what? I thought fibroids were just pure luck. I thought they had nothing to do with diet or lifestyle. So the fibroids kit is a fantastic option for preventing them growing back as well, because we've spoken about what causes them. If you get them removed and you continue to do the same things, they grow back. So you can use so yeah, within 2 to 3 months though, I do expect to see some shrinking in the fibroids. And I'm not saying they're going to disappear, but they'll start to reduce. Then in 3 to 6 months, I expect to see more significant reduction in symptoms, significant reduction in size. Obviously, if you're coming off, having 20 massive fibroids, that's going to be a longer process. But if you're someone with 1 or 2 fibroids, normal size, then we'd expect them 6 months to reduce those right down to the point they're asymptomatic at least. So, in terms of how to use the kit, that's where the next Q&A we get. What you want to do is you can brew the raspberry leaf, the donquay, and the ashwagandha into the same cup of tea. Super simple. And then you just want to drop the black sudo, which I've actually got in front of me here. You can drop that under the tongue, and that's again pretty simple. You can drink the tea, and that kind of gets it down as well. So you just take this off, and then this just goes under the tongue, and then 2 of those, and then you can swallow that with the tea and wait for it to cool down, obviously. And that's how that one works. Okay. Just gonna have a scroll, see if there's any questions on that one. Oh, thanks. Um, yeah, just gonna have a scroll to see if there's any questions on that one. And okay, don't think so. Okay, cool. Right. Cool. Next kit I wanted to talk about, and this is probably the second most popular one, would be the anti-herpes kit or the viral kit. Now, this one is probably the one I'm most proud of in terms of um, a solution that people need, because it does bother me how much HSV in particular is stigmatized. It does bother me how little public knowledge is on the herpes virus. It does bother me how much misinformation there is on the virus as well. There's actually, and I don't want to do, we've done whole live sessions on the herpes virus, so I don't want to, turn this into a herpes session again. But just to let people know, there's 8 different forms of herpes virus. So when people just say herpes, it's not actually what we're talking about. Herpes family virus covers eczema, covers psoriasis, covers lupus, covers multiple sclerosis, covers kidney disease, covers thyroid issues, all thyroid issues, Hashimoto's, Goiter's, Graves'. We do have a separate thyroid kit, but it covers so many scleroderma. It covers, you name any autoimmune, Crohn's, colitis.
Some people have asked autism.
Not autism, we'll get onto that one. But it covers so many different issues, yet people are misinformed. Epstein-Barr virus is the most dangerous herpetic virus, yet HSV gets all the attention. HHV6 is the cause of most kidney disease, but again, people don't realize that. Chickenpox is herpes. Again, most people don't realize that when they're getting shingles outbreaks, and there's lots of non-rashing form of shingles. Sciatica is a form of herpes. So anyway, but the point I'm making is herpes is a widespread issue. There's lots of people experiencing it, and what we need to understand about the herpes is how to go after it basically. Herpes, we can't prove it's being gotten rid of because herpes can, and if this is just HSV, but it can enter latency in nerve cells where they're pretty much undetectable. If we're talking about EBV, it can enter latency in white blood cells, it can enter latency in bone marrow cells, it can mimic liver cells, it can mimic thyroid cells, it can mimic nerve cells, it can mimic brain cells, which is why we see autoimmune conditions. So yeah, what our kit does is goes after all of the building blocks of herpes virus. So working through them one by one, we have the licorice root. Now, herpes virus is, imagine herpes virus operates like a game of hide and seek back to base. You know, it's hiding, it's trying to stay undetected because the immune system is stronger than the herpes virus and the immune system kills most herpes virus cells. So it's not a fight that the herpes virus is trying to engage in. So most of the time it's operating like hide and seek back to base where it doesn't want to be seen. So but it does need to get back to base, otherwise it will starve and die. So what it does is makes a beeline for your epithelial cells and then tries to replicates and then tries to get back to base without being detected so that it can go into its invisible latency phase again. Now, the licorice root is really important when we're talking about this. Jay, do you mind just pinning the viral kit?
It's been
Oh, thank you. But it's really important when we're talking about this because what the licorice root does is form a glue. Now, what that glue does, it binds basically the cellular membranes of virus cells to stop them from being able to replicate. It stops them from moving, particularly when we're talking about, rheumatoid arthritis or lupus or MS, where we're seeing the virus and its dermatoxins in particular move around the body. That's where that licorice root is really important because we're seeing the virus move. So we want to use that glue to stop it from being able to move around. Then we use the black seed oil. Again, black seed oil, there isn't really a live. I don't talk about the black seed oil, and that is because it's a super effective against all of the herpetic viruses, all eight of them, all nine of them. So yeah, black seed oil is definitely part of it. And then we have the oil of oregano. So this is the essential oil, so it's really strong. And the reason why I like the oil of oregano is because we can use it topically with a carrier oil to target the underlying virus cells in their latent phase as well. So we can apply it directly to the spine where it likes to hide. We can apply it directly to the trigeminal nerve where it likes to hide, and we can really target and attack the virus cells that way. Bypasses the liver as well, which is really helpful because it reduces the burden on the liver, so it can spend more of its time healing. And then we also have the what else is in there? We also have the CMOS. Now, the CMOS is really important, and yeah, the CMOS is really important because it is rich in zinc and iodine. So, particularly when we're talking about herpes in the thyroid, so Hashimoto's, Graves', hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, goiters, the CMOS is really important because you need iodine. Iodine is what protects your thyroid, and it also has zinc, and zinc is what activates the iodine in your thyroid, which is really important. So CMOS is, I mean, that's specifically talking about the thyroid, but again, the zinc turns the lights off on the herpes virus as soon as it comes into contact with it. So that's why it's so important. Um, did I mention all four herbs in the herpes kit? What did I say? Licorice, oil of oregano, black seed, and yeah, sea moss. So that probably brings me on nice. In terms of how to use that, the black seed oil will be taken the same way. The sea moss, you can do 1 tablespoon every morning. And the oil of oregano, mix that with the carrier oil in a 1 to 5 ratio. So 5 parts coconut oil, 1 part oil of oregano, and then apply that to the trigeminal nerve if you've got HSV1. If you've got genital herpes and you'd want to apply that, you can apply that actually during outbreaks with gloves on as well. and you want to just generally rub it along the spine daily as well, and then the trigeminal nerve daily. And if you've got something like eczema, you can apply it to the eczema. If you've got psoriasis, you can apply it there as well. If you've got that rheumatoid arthritis, you can apply it on the joints as well. And then you can also use that 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So don't use it every day. Treat it like an antibiotic or antiviral almost. So 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off is a good maintenance way to use that. Same with the licorice root. You can brew that into a tea, 10 minutes over a stove. And again, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. You can use a job lot, so you don't have to do it every day. But that's the best way to do the licorice root. Okay, that probably brings me nicely into the thyroid kit, and then I'll probably just move on to some Q&A.
What
Um,
is it? Next one.
oh, okay.
Three.
Well, I'll say the thyroid kit while Shay's looking, because the thyroid kit is kind of an adaptation of the herpes kit because it's got the sea moss, it's got the ashwagandha. I always forget what's in the thyroid kit.
It's not anything particular.
That's fine. I mean, it's on the website, so for everyone interested or who has a thyroid issue, this is the kit I would most recommend for you.
Um,
Um,
Sorry, with the stream, do you know how to pin comments? To pin the discount code on Instagram?
no, uh, one sec. Yeah, so with the thyroid, it's got the ashwagandha, the sea moss, the black seed oil, and the moringa. So we've spoken about the black seed oil already. We've spoken about the sea moss. The ashwagandha really helps in terms of the to not stress out your thyroid basically. So it reduces cortisol, which relieves the pressure on the thyroid. So it's kind of takes the pressure off. And the moringa seeds is anti-Epstein Barr, also helps the thyroid as well. And moringa is just a good blood cleanser. It basically cleanses out the system to again take the burden off the thyroid in terms of what needs to be done. And then in terms of how to use that kit, what I would say is you want to use the moringa seeds, 3 a day, and then the ashwagandha, brew that like you would any other tea over a pot is better, and then the sea moss 1 tablespoon, and then the black seed oil 1 teaspoon a day as well. Okay, yeah. If anyone has, Mary's Hard Clinic Spa has asked, shall you test for herpes virus? Yeah, I mean you can test for herpes virus. It's an antibodies test is what they test for, so it tells you if you've ever had the virus. If you have an active outbreak, then obviously you know you have the virus, but you might not know actually. If you've got a rash and you're not sure if it's the virus, then you can get a swab test of the active site, and that's kind of the most definitive way to know if you've got the virus, because if you do an antibodies test, then you might get false positives and you might get false negatives as well. So it's never perfect in terms of telling you exactly what's going on. Rosama Francis has asked ashwagandha. Oh, you can pin it. I've pinned the discount. So yeah, I've just pinned the discount so everyone can see that. It's MAI20, MAI20. So you can use that on the website, and you can get 20% off with that. It's this chair. It's a really uncomfortable chair. But yeah. So what was I saying?
Can you go? How'd you go?
That's pushes me further forward. I need to get a better chair. So ashwagandha also reduces our metabolism, right? How is it helpful when metabolism is also low during thyroid? Yeah, I guess a few false assumptions in that question. Not to worry, but ashwagandha doesn't reduce your metabolism, it regulates it. So if you've got slow metabolism, it will regulate it. It doesn't just make it slower, it will bring it up. And if your metabolism is too high, it will bring it down. It's a regulator. So all the herbs that I recommend, they are regulators. You know, that's why they can be used in hypo or hyperthyroidism because they regulate. Similarly, if we've been talking about lion's mane or ashwagandha, if you've got overworked adrenals or underworked adrenals, they're safe to use because they regulate. If we're talking about Brahmi, same thing. So yeah, they're never just bluntly increasing. It's always a regulator with the herbs I recommend. Um, okay, let's talk about the
I've got some comments on YouTube. I can't type on YouTube though. I don't know how to. I might have to add this somehow to moderate on
Is it questions or comments?
Yeah, question.
You want to speak up?
Well, someone said, I see all your products are very affordable, thank you. Recommendations to increase male fertility.
Yeah, good question. I'm not sure if you're still with us, but good question. So that, for anyone who didn't hear, that was recommendations to boost fertility. Is it a man's name or a woman's name?
Man, yeah, Jason.
Jason. Yeah, so when we're talking about fertility for men, obviously testosterone is a massive component. So yeah, I do recommend Shilajit, ashwagandha, and Donquay would be, and we're probably going to launch a kit for that soon as well, the testosterone booster. Moringa or sea moss could be supplementary to that as well, but they boost your luteinizing hormone. If you've got low testosterone, they will increase your testosterone. As I say, they help with sperm motility, mobility, and count as well. Fenugreek seeds are also another good one. Cut down your fat, cut down your sugar, try and keep the stress down. That's why lion's mane can be helpful, although not a direct testosterone booster. But if it is, psychological, if there's psychological performance anxiety, things like that, then the lion's mane can help. But yeah, Donquay is the ferulic acid, Shilajit because of the fulvic acid, and then ashwagandha as well. And even though I said acid, don't worry about the pH of those. They don't make you more acidic. That's just what the bioactive compounds are. Um, mm, FN Moyalakin, sorry if I butchered that one. Does this product does this product help with autism? Um, Not that product. So what I would most recommend for autism would actually be heavy metals cleanse. I haven't spoken about this one yet, but the heavy, we'll go with autism first and then work back to the protocol. But autism is caused from aluminium and mercury in the midline canal of the brain. It's a conductor. It creates heat. When it's particularly oxidized with fat and sugar, then that can create corrosive residue that can damage nearby brain tissue. So that's why you will see sometimes the brain has to circumvent and rewire how it perceives messages. Sometimes it can shortcut, sometimes it can go the long way around, and that's where you get the differentiation in behavior with autism. So that said, what we are aiming to do is to try and cleanse the mercury and aluminium out of that brain. So we need to activate the glymphatic system so it can actually get out. We need to go deep into the hard to reach pockets. We need to also reduce the toxic exposures. So we don't want to be adding to the fuel with more EBV neurotoxins. We don't want to add fat and sugar to oxidize the metals. So that's the general approach. Now with that, what we do. Oh, I can see the questions on Riverside. I think it pulls in.
Oh, all of them.
No, not all of them, just a few. Or is this a separate? I don't know. Yeah, I can see a few.
Oh,
I can see Jason's question. So, oh yeah, it pulls in YouTube and it pulls in. So, okay, I think it's just putting in YouTube.
okay.
Anyway, sorry. So yeah. What was I gonna say? So, what was I talking about?
About autism, not they have notes going.
Cool. So I was just looking at the chat function to see if I could pull in the Instagram and TikTok questions. But yeah, autism. So yeah, we aim to do that. So that's what the herbs do. So before we even get into the herbs, you can use parsley, which is really good for binding to the aluminium. You can use coriander, which is particularly good for binding to the mercury. You can do all the things I said to open up the glymphatic system. Your root vegetables are really good as well. These are all really good options. When it comes to the herbs, spirulina is fantastic. Spirulina goes in and cleanses the brain, the nervous system, and the liver of these heavy metals. The shilajit is the best thing for detoxing the brain. That fulvic acid is fantastic. I mean, on the last live, we were literally talking, and someone said that they were getting sleepier. And as we went through, we realized actually it's the decalcification of that pineal gland and that melatonin is coming through more clearly now. So real time effect of that shilajit decalcifying and reducing the heavy metal buildup in the brain. And then we also have moringa is a great, less so for autism, but a great natural chelator in terms of cleansing heavy metals from the gut. And then the sea moss is really good for cleansing heavy metals again, and it more hangs around the gut and it makes sure the metals are actually getting out of your system rather than being reabsorbed, which happens to a lot of people. When you do these 3 day cleanses, when you do these 3 day detoxes, and you haven't actually got your elimination pathways open, you end up reabsorbing all the toxins, except where they were nicely filed away, not causing problems before, you're making your liver have to do all the work to file it away and keep your organs safe again. So yeah, the heavy metal cleanse, that's how it works. I would actually most recommend for autism lion's mane brahmi, because that actually helps to regrow brain cells, regrow brain nerves, help you to think in new ways. So we actually see the best results in terms of children in particular, going from non-verbal to verbal, or tantrums reducing and things like that with the lion's mane and the brahmi. In terms of addressing the underlying issue, then yes, I would most recommend the heavy metal cleanse kit. So as a combined protocol, I would probably, and we'll be launching this one soon, but I'd probably say spirulina, lion's mane, brahmi, and shilajit is what I would recommend for the autism. Just to remind everyone.
Sorry, can you just quickly
Mhm.
do Mad Dog for 2Gs? We've got 20% discount on the website at the moment, so you can get moringa and Vaxidol discounted there.
Yeah, Mad Dog, you can do 20% off. MAI20 is the code, and yeah, that applies on Moringa and what was it? Black Sea Dog.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, just to say, we do also offer consultations. I know this live has been quite product heavy. Generally, we talk more about the issues or the issue. But yeah, a bit of a different one today. We do also do consultations. All the consultations are directly with me. I do 30 slots a month. I think we're pretty much booked up for the rest of November now. But you can still purchase those. If it's urgent, I can open up an emergency slot. But yes, you can use the discount code on that as well, which is what I would strongly recommend. I think a consultation is the best place to start in terms of understanding what the underlying issue is and putting a plan together and yeah, setting a plan basically.
And food reviews.
And we've also just launched the diet reviews. Now, this is a new one, and I think it's super useful. It's where you can submit all of the foods that you eat, and I will go through and kind of traffic light system, good, bad, or indifferent, and explain why. And the why is super important. It helps you to build a framework for all of the reasons why and why you shouldn't eat a food. So a lot of people will say, "Oh, sweet potato is good, but potato is bad, right?" And it's like, hang on. When you realize why sweet potato is good, then you realize all root vegetables are good. Pumpkin, potato, winter squash, butternut squash, they're all good. And that's kind of the power of the diet review. So that's what I'd recommend for a lot of people as well. You can use the discount on that. They're actually super cheap right now. It starts from £30. I would say that's actually better than any herb you're going to buy, because a lot of issues people are dealing with can actually be resolved 100% through diet. You don't even need the herbs. So if there was one place I would start, a diet review is number one, or a consultation. Even though if I have £60 in my pocket, I would say the consultation is the best place to start. If I only have £30 in my pocket, I would say the diet review is the best place to start. And the reason why I say if I only have £30 in my pocket, it's because health is wealth. And a lot of people I actually speak to are spending, this is not an exaggeration, thousands of pounds trying to get their health right, listening to one guru saying this, another guru saying that. They tried veganism, they tried carnivore, they tried this and that, going in circles. And it's not about, so that's why I say it's not a financial thing. If it's the last £30 you have, it's still a good investment, because that's where your next 30 is going again, and the next 30 after that, that's where it's going, doing the wrong things. If you want to actually start seeing improvements, if you want to actually understand why food is not going to work, don't buy the herbs, buy the diet review. That's what I would say. So yes. Okay. Any questions that have come in, Jade? If you've got any questions, for anyone new here, we've had a lot of new followers in the last I want to say 2 weeks. We've had a lot of new people. So if you're new here, then these sessions are Q&A, so do ask. So jazz it up. Saying the names is actually the most nerve-wracking part of this. So yeah, what do you think about blood type diet? I think good question. Actually, I've never even asked this one before. It's not something I'm overly familiar with, but I can understand kind of the premise, eating for your blood type, because I guess they say different blood types are more susceptible to different issues and things like that. And I would say largely it's a fad. If you eat the right things, you're not going to get sick eating the diet I would recommend, because no matter, regardless of your blood type, and there's not that many issues that are specific to blood types. So it seems like a strange thing to try and compartmentalize based off. So I wouldn't recommend it. That's not to say someone, I mean, I don't know what a blood type diet is. So if a blood type, if whatever diet is recommended for your blood type is all the same things I'd say to eat generally, then sure. But I wouldn't recommend eating based on your blood type. But that said, it's not something I've overly researched. So yeah. Marie's HUD Clinic Spa has said, it says read light. I don't know if that's red light. I'm guessing it's red light. Red light and nicotine patches for autism. Is that something I recommend? No. Yeah, simple one. No. A red light is fine, I guess, red light therapy. But for autism, it doesn't get rid of heavy metals, so it's not really something I'd recommend. Um, okay. Uh, yeah, I mean, look, it's a bit of a quieter session today, no problem. So what we'll probably do, I'll start wrapping up, and then if anyone has any questions, then try and get them in, and I'll answer them whilst I'm wrapping up. So yeah, Samas has asked what was the ratio of the oil of oregano to coconut oil for the arthritis rub? Yeah, really good question. That's 5 to 1 is what I'd recommend. 5 to 1. You can do that 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. If you've got like a bad flare up, then sure, use it. Don't think, oh, well, I used it the last 2 weeks and this day's 15 and now I can't because it's day 15. Just take a longer break next time. That probably brings me to a more genuine message. And it's a question we get all the time, like dosages. And of course, don't go crazy and do 10 times recommended dose. But dosages shouldn't be that heavily relied upon, because dosages are based on an average 70 kilogram person. If you're not 70 kilograms, you shouldn't be following the dosage. If you're more sick than what the average is based off, you should be eating more. So, I don't really like to say, when people micromanage, oh, is it 500 milligrams to the nose? No, it doesn't need to be 500 milligrams, because if you took 1 gram, it's not going to harm you. And if you took half of that dose, it's not going to harm you. So I would say you kind of need to figure out your own dose within the parameters of responsibility. If it's a child, you want to moderate that down. So let's say we say 1 teaspoon as a standard dose for black seed oil, and it's a child, and that child weighs, I don't know, for the sake of math, 17.5 kilograms. Then yeah, you'd want to do a 1/4 teaspoon, because that'd be a quarter. So yeah, that's generally what I'd recommend. With the oil of oregano, I don't know if I actually answered the question. It was 5 to 1. So 5 parts coconut oil, and then 1 part oil of oregano. Alexis said, I'm pregnant, so I have to be careful. Yeah, I mean, in terms of pregnancy, the only herbs I'd recommend whilst pregnant would be raspberry leaf, because that can help with it, particularly in the third trimester. And sea moss, because those trace minerals are super helpful. And the lion's mane, because the brain boosting compounds goes directly to your baby. So those, and brahmi as well. So those are, yeah, brahmi as well. So those are the 3 that I recommend most. Let me just check the brahmi actually. Let me not say something wrong that I can't. Yeah, I mean, brahmi doesn't got anything to suggest that it's unsafe, but there's no test saying it is safe, so they say recommend. So, use your own discretion. But yeah, the lion's mane is really good because the brain boosting compounds go directly through to the baby. Just having a look at questions. I can see some questions have come on Facebook, but I can't see them. So yeah, just to let everyone know, we are, here they are. So I'm trying a new streaming platform where we are streaming on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Instagram, yeah, at the same time. So it's a bit more manic trying to manage all the inboxes, but hopefully it's helpful so that everyone can get all the information because there's so many people. We've got 700,000 followers, or nearly 700,000 followers on Facebook, and they're always asking how can I see the live? How can I see the live? So yeah, trying to open it up, but there will be some teething issues. If I've been blurry today, that is nothing to do with this. It's just the Wi-Fi in here is terrible. We're having to use data.
That's pretty good.
Okay, good.